Is your Swann security system constantly rebooting? This frustrating issue can leave your property unprotected, but the good news is that most rebooting problems have identifiable causes and solutions. Rebooting issues typically stem from two primary sources. Power supply problems account for about 60% of all cases, while firmware corruption is responsible for approximately 25%. The remaining 15% involves various hardware failures. First, let's assess your power supply. Start by calculating the total power consumption of all your cameras plus the DVR or NVR unit. Each camera typically consumes 4 to 15 watts, while the base unit requires 40 to 65 watts. Use a multimeter to test your power supply output and verify all connections are secure. Loose connections and insufficient wattage are common culprits. Ensure your power supply provides adequate capacity with 20 to 30% overhead for system stability. Next, examine your firmware. Check your current firmware version in the Swann app and look for available updates. Firmware corruption from interrupted updates or power outages can cause persistent rebooting. A factory reset may be necessary to restore stability. By systematically addressing these areas, you can identify the root cause and restore stability to your Swann system. Start with power assessment, then analyze firmware, and finally test hardware components if needed. Remember to document all symptoms, test each component individually, and always ensure proper ventilation to prevent overheating. This methodical approach will help you quickly identify whether the issue is power-related, firmware-related, or hardware-related. Now that we've identified the cause of rebooting issues, we need to implement the right solutions and prevention strategies to keep your Swann security system running reliably. The most common solution is upgrading your power supply. Calculate the total power consumption of all cameras plus the DVR unit, then add 20 to 30% overhead capacity for stable operation. For example, 8 cameras using 12 watts each plus a 45-watt DVR requires 141 watts total. A 180-watt power supply provides the necessary overhead for reliable operation. For firmware problems, proper update procedures are critical. Always perform updates during low-activity periods and back up your system configuration before starting any firmware update process. Follow this 3-step process. First, back up your configuration, then download the firmware update, and finally install it safely with stable power. Never interrupt a firmware update, as this can cause permanent system damage. Environmental factors play a crucial role in system stability. Monitor temperature and humidity levels to ensure they stay within acceptable ranges. Your system needs proper ventilation, with at least 6 inches of clearance on all sides. Install an uninterruptible power supply, or UPS, to protect against power fluctuations and outages. Choose a UPS with at least 30 minutes of runtime to allow for graceful system shutdown during extended power loss. Proactive prevention is the best approach to avoid future rebooting problems. Schedule regular maintenance checks, monitor system temperature, and keep firmware updated to prevent issues before they occur. Regular cleaning prevents dust buildup that causes overheating. Document all system changes and test your backup power systems monthly to ensure they work when needed. Newer Swann models from 2024 and beyond include enhanced power management and smart monitoring features. These systems can automatically detect potential problems and alert you before they cause system failures. Implement a maintenance schedule with monthly power checks, quarterly cleaning, and semi-annual firmware reviews. This proactive approach significantly reduces the risk of unexpected system reboots and extends equipment lifespan. By following these troubleshooting steps and prevention strategies, you can maintain a stable and reliable Swann security system. Remember that most rebooting issues are preventable with proper power management and regular maintenance.